very good. I put in some effort to kind of spruce up the little place to live. Look a little festive. It was very last minute, but I think it works. I think it works okay for the occasion. Yeah, it's all orange. I found a lot of orange paint. Don't worry, it's water paint. It'll come off. I promise. Yeah. It was all I could do on short notice. Yeah. Same. Yeah, I would have gotten like a pumpkin or something, but I only had like 10 minutes to munch on some sandwiches before I got started and got my drinks and got everything all sorted out. But the paint job isn't the only thing I found, fortunately. It might have to take a little bit of explanation though when y'all see it. In which case, I think I'll probably have to explain it just as soon as I swap over the screen, but in the meantime, let's just savor the spooky mood. Ooh, so spooky. I love it. Issy taught me to love it. Yeah, so tonight, I decided to keep things a little bit simple, and just decided to read some SCPs. I know SCPs have started to like kick up some steam lately, thanks to the full release of a certain SCP-related indie game, and it's really good. I watched a lot of it, a lot of gameplay, and yeah, it's worth all the praise. It's very good, so I thought, you know what? I think I'm gonna keep up the mood just a little bit longer from the source itself, which I believe Issy was also rather privy to doing on stream in the past. Anyway, Halloween! SCP! Let's go. Alright. Yeah, so as you can see, I found this this weird, like, kind of statue sculpture thing. It looks like Issy, and I saw the SCP logo, like, with the pin in the hair, and so I figure it's related, but I'm not really sure how. I don't know, I guess if anybody can fill me in, I'd be happy to know. Otherwise, here we are, scpfoundationwiki.com. Appropriately in the festive mood. I think, just to kick things off, just for the occasion, instead of going immediately into like a random, where is it? Yeah, random SCP. Why don't we just take a look at some of the front page stuff that's featured for the occasion. How did that sound? Starting with SCP-5863. Any activities suggestive of organic life will be logged and reported automatically. And suddenly all the festivity is gone. Oh well. It's probably gonna be a consistent deal. Anyway, I think I know mostly how this works. I know I simply read off like just the articles and stuff, but as far as like containment classes and stuff, you know, I know as much as I need to. I know all the crucial stuff. Oh dear, did the dogs find a ghost? Did they get ookie spookied? Alright. Starting off, I have a chat up on the phone so I can keep track of y'all. I have black raspberry sparkling water juice stuff and then just regular water. Okay. I think it's time, Lily Pals. How about you? What say you? SCP-5863. Containment class pending. Interesting. Level 3 confidential. With a rating of 120. Not too bad. Special containment procedures. The Mallard Park Ranger building is monitored by an automated video security system at all times. Any activities suggestive of organic life will be logged and reported automatically. The roads leading into Darwin County should be placed under construction indefinitely to prevent civilian incursion. Entrance into Darwin County should not be attempted unless absolutely necessary. The Foundation will continue to fund Mallard Park State Wildlife Refuge until further notice. The nature of SCP-5863 is currently unknown to the Foundation. The following proposed explanations are currently under investigation. We have Alpha, Beta, and Mu. Alpha. Description. SCP-5863 refers to Mallard Park State Wildlife Refuge, an Oklahoma state park established in 1997 and apparently run by the Oklahoma government in tandem with the Department of Unreality. Mallard Park does not appear on any Foundation or government records outside of financial statements before its discovery in 2017, and has no staff, Foundation or otherwise, officially assigned to the area. SCP-5863 appears to cause heightened levels of cortisol, adrenaline, and blood pressure in subjects viewing or aware of their proximity to SCP-5863. Symptoms appear to worsen should a subject move in the direction of SCP-5863. Foundation agents who entered Mallard Park during the initial investigation are currently being treated for psychological trauma. Despite its name, no animal life, human or otherwise, has been observed within or around the park. I think I'm gonna read off the other proposals before I get to the addendum. Proposal Beta. Description. SCP-5863 refers to the area known as Darwin County, Oklahoma. All properties within Darwin County appear to be properly maintained despite the fact that no human occupants have been observed within SCP-5863 since its discovery in 2017. The county also appears to consume water and electricity at a rate consistent with the number of permanent residents listed in the most recent national census. Attempts to contact individuals who reportedly live within SCP-5863 have so far been unsuccessful. 7 of the 13 Foundation agents who have entered SCP-5863 have apparently disappeared while within SCP-5863, although 2 of these individuals have been recovered later. And then proposal moo. Description: SCP-5863 refers to Mallard Park State Wildlife Refuge, which is believed to be the first known instance of a disunion area. A disunion area is a theoretical concept initially conceived of by acclaimed anomalous physicist Dr. Cyan O'Reilly in 1989, which proposed the concept of an anti-nexus, or an area of space which is not only devoid of, but appears to repel anomalies. The potential causes and consequences of such an area are currently undetermined. Fascinating. Addendum 5863.1 Recovered Documents. No physical documents have been recovered from the Mallard Park Ranger Building. All digital documents recovered from the Mallard Park Ranger Building computers have been entirely contentless, with the exception of 2 files attached below. Ooh, these are MP3 files. I gotta put on my headphones and take a little listen. Oh. Never mind. Okay. So the first MP3, the first 43 seconds, the audio file appears to be completely silent. 44 seconds. A heavy and loud distortion is suddenly present in the recording. Sound is reminiscent of the sound made when a camera picks up strong winds. However, it is present too constantly for that to be a likely cause. And then 45 seconds to a minute, the sound of ducks quacking slowly becomes audible in the recording. The distortion and vocalizations of ducks continue until the recording ends 10 minutes and 43 seconds later. Second file. At the beginning, the same distortion present in the last recording can be heard. The sound of ducks is likewise still present. Both sounds are present throughout the entirety of the recording. 3 seconds. A sound similar to an aluminum can being opened can be heard. 22 seconds to a minute and 8. A hissing noise can be heard. The sound has been described as similar to frying meat. At minute 08, hissing abruptly stops. Minute 09, something is heard hitting the ground and rolling to a slow stop. Recording continues for an additional 54 seconds, where only the distortion and sounds of ducks are present before abruptly terminating. I have a feeling there's more to this one than I think I presently understand. It does link back to the Department of Unreality Hub. If we can take a quick peek at that. Dear Name, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Department Name. You've been chosen from amongst your peers for your relevant work experience and positive personal quality. The department handles a very specific subset of anomalous phenomena affecting relevant information concerning the department. Additional paragraphs detailing relevant duties covered by the department. Regards, John Doe, Department of Unreality, Director. Title pending. No, it's about nothing. George Costanza. What is this? Great question. The Department of Unreality is a Foundation department, citation needed, handling phenomena of some kind. That's all you get to work with. Title Pending is a series originally started by Department Con 2022 team The Wiggles Hate Each Other in Real Life, expanded upon by Fishish afterward. Title Pending is closed to contributors, although if you have an idea, I won't bite. Consult the writing guide below or PM me, Fishish, if you have any questions. So it sounds like, yeah, it's obviously like a department of the Foundation, but it kind of strikes me as like a group of interest. Like they have their own sort of website, like, list of articles and stuff, like, in their own format. We're probably not gonna peek any further into this. We're gonna leave the mystery to stew. Back to the main page. Speaking of groups of interest, we have SPC 3008, a perfectly normal, regular old Blahai. Cult-like communities have spread online, praising SPC 3008 as a sapient creature capable of performing extensive feats of reality warping. So, featured GUI format. Yeah, the SPC database, the Shark Punching Center. Alright. Shark class Hammerhead, Punchability class Firm, Depth class Sea Level. Okay, SPC 3008. Shark punching contingencies. Marine fighting teams Kappa 9, Gamma 6, and Omicron 5, Vonster Krok, Uverskara, and Slaut, respectively, are to conduct regular patrols into all IKEA globally. A Swedish furniture store chain. Upon locating a shiver of SPC 3008 instances, they are to be punched repeatedly until the objects are thoroughly destroyed. Should a staff member ask an agent to leave because they are damaging the merchandise and or being a nuisance to other customers, they are to discreetly incapacitate the employee and finish their mission as quickly as possible. If such attempts fail, resulting in operatives being forced off of the premises, MFT agents are to resist for as long as reasonably possible while attempting to, loudly, persuade other customers of the malevolent nature of the merciless SPC 3008 entities. As marketed by IKEA, the fools. Description. SPC 3008 is a Salatian plush toy sold by IKEA. The item is 1 meter in length and possesses a full set of felt teeth. SPC 3008 has many features common among plush toys, including a soft fuzzy skin, an interior filled with cotton stuffing, and a tag on the tail displaying a barcode and the manufacturer. Despite its physical appearance, however, SPC 3008 is in fact a malevolent entity possessing dangerous mind control abilities. Cult-like communities have spread online praising SPC 3008 as a sapient creature capable of performing extensive feats of reality warping. Verification of these claims has proven impossible due to the need to eradicate all SPC 3008 instances on first contact to prevent civilian casualties. Civilian casualties currently at 0 due to how efficiently MTF's Kappa 9, Gamma 6, and Omicron 5 have exterminated all SPC 3008 instances. Addendum 3008.1 Recovered Evidence. The following is a screenshot from a conversation between cult members noting different reality warping abilities it possesses. I got him! Awesome. He started making you fly yet? Lol. Yup, made my boobs get 2 cups bigger too! Further investigation into these properties is ongoing. Addendum 3008.2 Infiltration and Extermination Summary. All 3 MTF teams were sent into the IKEA in Richmond, BC, British Columbia. K9 carried out the destruction of SPC 3008 in full tactical gear. G6 kept all employees and civilians out of the area, disguised as IKEA security, and O5 interviewed persons found on the scene for any further information regarding the origins of SPC 3008, dressed as news reporters. Begin log. MTF breached the front entrance of the premises. G6 heads up the escalators and go backwards through the main G6, head up the escalators and go backward through the main pathway to the children's section with K9 close behind. Sorry everyone, the store is closing early due to the holidays. It's the 29th of July. What possible holiday is it? National Lasagna Day. That sounds completely made up. It's a real thing, I swear. G65, and it shows a civilian the Wikipedia entry for National Lasagna Day. All civilians reluctantly evacuate the area. Kappa 9, you're free to engage. K9 1 through 7 begin assault on SPC 3008. I'm here live on the scene as IKEA is closing for National Lasagna Day. Excuse me, ma'am, what are your thoughts on this special occasion? I don't want lasagna, I want to buy the stuffer for my cabinet. Alright then. 053 quickly disengages and searches for an IKEA employee. You've got such a lovely selection of items here at IKEA. I'm especially interested in the blahage. Do you know where you obtain such items? No, I'm just a cashier. Those toys are cute, I guess, though. What? You think those murderous creatures are cute? 053 is losing composure. 054, we need immediate extraction. Go fill in. Sorry about my colleague here. We all love the blahage. Do you have any info on its creation? I don't know, it probably arrives here from the shipping warehouse. We got the data! 054, get out of there! Omicron 5 evacuates the building. The interviewed employee starts heading back up to the second floor. Excuse me folks, you're not allowed to damage the merchandise like that. Are you prepared to pay for all those stuffies? G62 takes down the employee with a chloroform rag, hiding her in one of the display tents. All instances exterminated. We've got all the info we need. All agents still in the building, get out as quickly and discreetly as possible. End log. Addendum 3008.3 Mission Log. During the eradication of SPC 3008 throughout the Canadian IKEAs in BC, on-scene interviews of employees led to the discovery of the hub of all SPC 3008 activity in the area. The Coquitlam IKEA warehouse, MFT Gamma 6 Uruskara, were sent to cut off SPC 3008 at its source. Begin log. G61, check. G62, check. G65, check. Alright, everything looks good on our end. Are you in breaching positions? Affirmative. You're clear to breach. All three agents bust open the door to the warehouse. Various workers are seen roaming the facility. No SPC 3008 in sight, sir. Damn it. 2. Sweep the perimeter to the left. 5. You go right. There are too many civilians in there. 2. You are authorized to deploy measures to evacuate the facility. Got it. Deploying an industrial stink bomb now. Agents sweep the warehouse. In the northeast, a shiver of SPC 3008 is found, estimated to be at least 200 instances. Oh my god. 5? What is it, man? 5? Command, what's going on? I've lost contact with 5. We aren't sure either. Through G62's mic, faint screaming is heard. The sound of a grenade going off can also be heard. We've struck the motherlode, sir. It's worse than we expected. They've gotten to 5. G65 can be seen laying on the ground, deceased by blast injury. Later investigation concluded that G65 threw his grenade at the pile of SPC 3008, but due to their plush nature, it was cushioned and rebounded back at G65, killing him. They've killed 5. Explosives are a no-go. Exterminate all instances through pummelation. Copy. Over the next 2 hours, both agents slam, smack, and wallop all SPC 3008 instances. Very good. I've been informed we'd like you to capture and take one back with you for interrogation. Alright, almost ready for extraction. End log. An instance was captured and brought in for interrogation. Addendum 3008.4 Interview Log. Dr. Grant Lingham attempted to interrogate the captured SPC 3008 instance. Begin log. Now, who is your creator? No verbal communication. If you don't talk now, we will remove you from this tank and place you back into... Answer the question. Answer the expletive redacted question! Not talking, eh? Well, we have ways of making you talk. Dr. Lingham punches SPC-3008 in the face. You like that? Huh? Dr. Lingham continues punching SPC-3008 repeatedly. You will speak when spoken to! Silence for 5 seconds. Expletive redacted. No further information was gleaned. Extermination of all SPC-3008 instances is ongoing. Great! And don't think that the pride flag icons were lost on me. Meanwhile, last on the main page, a reviewer spotlight, SCP-1318, Consultant Rats. Due to the nature of the cognitive hazard presented by SCP-1318, no research staff shall be permitted to interact directly with specimens. It's a rat! With a rating of 288. That's a lot of rats. Okay. SCP-1318, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Specimens of SCP-1318 are to be kept in individual wire cages in a secured room in a facility otherwise devoid of laboratory animals. Due to the nature of the cognitive hazard presented by SCP-1318, no research staff shall be permitted to interact directly with specimens. Any experiments involving specimens are to be carried out by appropriately trained Class D personnel under remote observation by the assigned researcher. Experimental protocols should be designed to strictly limit the duration of exposure to SCP-1318 specimens. No individual Class D is to be scheduled for this duty more than once per week. No, or under no circumstances should any personnel be assigned duty which would increase their cumulative exposure time to SCP-1318 to over 16 hours. Any personnel showing signs of excessive SCP-1318 exposure are to be treated with amnestics and must undergo a thorough psychological examination before returning to duty. If delusions persist after drug treatment and counseling, disability leave may be granted at the discretion of the project lead. Class D personnel experiencing persistent delusions are to be terminated. Description: SCP-1318 is a spontaneously occurring phenomenon found in an estimated 0.0001% of specimens of the Long Evans strain of Rattus norvegicus, the Norwegian brown rat. This phenomenon appears to be restricted to the Long Evans strain and has never been witnessed in other laboratory strains or wild specimens. Instances are indistinguishable from other Long Evans specimens in size, intelligence, appearance, and lifespan. However, humans spending 20 to 80 cumulative hours in close proximity, approximately 3 meters, to an SCP-1318 specimen develop the following delusional complex: that the specimen is sapient and capable of speech, that the specimen is a subject matter expert in their field of employment, that their best ideas originate from conversations with the specimen, that these properties of SCP-1318 are possibly hereditary, and that any offspring of the specimen should be exempt from experimentation pending unspecified analysis, and that possession of SCP-1318 provides significant competitive advantage, precluding the sharing of data about specimens with outside organizations. In addition to this cumulative effect, persons introduced to an SCP-1318 specimen by an affected individual will immediately be affected by the delusional system. An introduction consists of addressing the specimen as a sentient being who is being made acquainted with the unaffected individual. While affected persons report that they hear the SCP-1318 specimen speaking, Review of recordings of such conversations reveal that affected persons are, in fact, sub-vocalizing the specimen's responses to their queries. No reported responses were found to lie outside of the knowledge domain of the affected individual. SCP-1318 was discovered when a routine performance review in 1993 found that productivity at the Biosciences Laboratory at Research Site 27 had declined by 75% in a 6-month period without a corresponding decline in research quality. An internal audit of the facility determined that the entire staff of the lab were affected by delusions pertaining to a male SCP-1318 specimen whom they dubbed Frankie. 2 members of the audit team were likewise affected before the nature of the hazard was determined. All affected personnel were interviewed and treated with amnestics, though 15% of staff suffered from persistent delusional states and were subsequently relieved of duty. Frankie was determined to have entered the facility as part of a routine delivery of model organisms from Charles River Laboratories. No anomalous properties were detected in any other specimens in the shipment. Interview log 1318-1-5 with Agent Davidson and Researcher Mooney. Good morning, Mr. Mooney. I would like to ask you a few questions about the model organism designated SCP-1318-1. Hey, sure. There sure are a lot of you internal affairs guys around. Is everything okay? This is an information gathering exercise, not a disciplinary hearing. Now, what can you tell me about SCP-1318-1? You mean Frankie, right? Yes, I believe the staff refer to it as Frankie. Oh, Frankie's great! He's real easy to talk to, and he's got a head for organic chemistry like nobody I've ever seen. How did you discover its anomalous properties? Well, a couple months ago I was getting really stuck trying to synthesize one of the components from the SCP blank fluid, and I was bitching about it in the lunchroom. Kowalski from Virology says to me, "Hey, you should run that by Frankie." And I'm like, who the fuck is Frankie? So Researcher Kowalski introduced you to the specimen? Yeah, he takes me into this mostly empty storeroom, nothing in there except this big cage with one little rat in it. And I'm like, where the hell is this Frankie guy? And Kowalski says, that's him right there, referring to the rat. Yeah, so I'm just about to punch Kowalski in the mouth for taking me on a snipe hunt when he starts talking to Frankie, and Frankie starts talking back. What were they discussing? Oh, Kowalski is like, hey, my buddy Mooney here is stuck on some hairy O-chem. Do you think you could help him out? And Frankie is all, sure thing. Nice to meet you, Mr. Mooney. It was weird, too, because you'd think a little rat like that would have a squeaky voice or something, but he just sounded like a regular guy. Was your discussion with the organism fruitful? Yeah, it was amazing. I just told him what I was trying to do, and he walked me through a possible synthesis as easy as giving directions to the grocery store. I took it back to the lab, and it worked the first time. And you continued to consult with the organism? Yeah, I did. By the end of the month, most of the guys in the lab were talking to Frankie when they got stuck on something. That little bastard can talk about almost anything you throw at him, you know? Why did you not disclose the presence of the anomaly? Well, it sounds stupid when I say it now, but everyone in the biolab kind of figured that Frankie was our secret weapon? Everyone was doing amazing work, and we figured we'd keep it to ourselves for a little bit. Our records show that while the quality of the work coming from your labs was consistently high, there was a precipitous drop in total output. If the organism was so helpful, how do you account for this? Yeah, so it was a couple things, I guess. The biggest problem is that there are only so many hours in the day, and Frankie's asleep for half of them, so the scheduling got to be a little hairy. People were unable to proceed until they could consult with the organism. Well, it's like you could get going without talking to Frankie, but once you talk to him, you'll probably have to start over anyway, so why bother? Also, lots of people's time was taken up with the breeding program. Yeah, we figured we couldn't keep it to ourselves forever, and how great would it be if every lab in the Foundation had their own Frankie? That'll be all for now, Mr. Mooney. And then up here we have a picture of Frankie. Oh shit! A rat! Oh my god, I love them. Big, smart, friendly rat. Good rodents. Okay. There's also the featured tail, but I don't think Issy tends to read the tales. Maybe I could do that sometime, but not tonight. I'm not really in the mood. But with everything off the main page, I guess we will go to the traditional method. Ooh. RNC Site 43, Subverting Common Practice. I'm not sure what RNC stands for. But anyway, with a rating of 267, dang. And this is a fairly recent one. SCP-6622, Level 4, Secret. Containment Class, Esoteric, and Secondary Class, Archon. Disruption Class, Dark, Risk Class, Notice. Okay, so Esoteric and Archon. Both of these classes I need to refresh myself on. Let's see. Here's what I'll do. I will... okay. Esoteric. Nice. Is there a tag for it? Esoteric class. Okay. Here we go. SCP blank 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 J by Procrastinati. Or Procrastinati? No, that's the title. Posted by Communism Will Win. Hang on. We have to solve this mystery. Class... Containment class. Is this it? Anomaly class bar. Before using, please read this guide. Well, here's esoteric. Thaumiel. I know what thaumiel means. It basically just means it's an SCP that's used to contain other SCPs. Okay. Yeah, so containment class, esoteric, disruption classes, dark, Vlam, Kennek, Aki, Amida, risk class, notice, caution, warning, danger, critical, secondary class, options, Apollyon, Archon, Cernunnos, decommissioned, Hymal, Tiamat, Ticonderoga, Thaumiel, and uncontained. Okay, Archon. No, that's just the icon. The icon for Archon. Oh, here we go. Anomaly classification system. Here we go. Okay. Oh, object class page. Yeah, so we have safe, Euclid, Keter, Thaumiel, neutralized, so they're no longer anomalous. Apollyon class are anomalies that cannot be contained. Archon class SCPs are anomalies that could theoretically be contained but are best left uncontained for some reason. Okay. And then esoteric class. Esoteric object classes, also occasionally referred to as narrative classes, are object classes that do not fall into any of the above sections. They are generally only used once and are created to further the narrative in a particular SCP. It is highly recommended that SCPs use one of the standard object classes listed here. While some authors choose to introduce exceptions to these rules, they are only very rarely done and need to justify their existence and placement. Okay. So it's literally just like the, you know, you have all the other object classes, and esoteric just means other. So we have an other containment class, and Archon meaning it could be contained, but for now it's best left uncontained. Anyway. Picture of SCP-6622-B-4, currently powering 96% of the Vancouver, British Columbia metropolitan area? Excuse? I could probably also quickly take a look at disruption and risk classes. Only when we're done, though. It doesn't look too long. Okay. Special Containment Procedures. MTF Omega-43, Leave It to Beavers, is tasked both with limiting public awareness of SCP-6622 and grounding 6622-B instances until nearby systems can accommodate them. Beyond this, containment is limited to regular feeding and care for 6622-A instances in high-risk regions. When possible, newly commissioned Foundation facilities are to be built in areas already serviced by SCP-6622 infrastructure. Description: SCP-6622-A is a subgroup of American beavers, Castor canadensis, which builds and maintains SCP-6622-B. Only 6622-A instances will interact with 6622-B, and non-anomalous beavers will not approach. SCP-6622-B are beaver dams and lodges which generate electricity via unknown and abnormally efficient means. Each instance continually outputs 6,800 megawatts, approximately the peak electrical demand of the city of Los Angeles. Holy shit. Presently, the Foundation knows of 12 distinct 6622-B instances. Power produced by SCP-6622-B is distributed into man-made electrical infrastructure via fairy rings, tree roots, and other naturally occurring pathways, entering said infrastructure at any point where it contacts fertile soil. Discovering the mechanism behind this transmission is a beta-level research priority. SCP-6622-A instances often dam at remote or inopportune locations. MTF Omega-43 has partially incorporated 6622-B instances into the electrical grids of 96 cities, but gigawatts of power are wasted each month both in preventing grid overload and the Foundation's inability to transmit more power to high-demand areas. Developing better regulatory infrastructure for SCP-6622 is an Alpha-level research priority. Attempts to establish SCP-6622-A captive breeding programs have failed, as has relocation of wild colonies. Instances construct non-anomalous dams. Reproducing the anomaly in a controlled setting is an Omega-level research priority. Discovery. On... it's either October 11th or November 10th, 2020. Site-43 experienced catastrophic power overload. The first known SCP-6622 lodge was later found on the Ausable River 5.8 kilometers away. Over a period of 9 months, Janitorial and Maintenance Section Chief Amelia Torosian was able to convert the site to rely exclusively on SCP-6622 for electricity. Torosian's initial designs have formed the basis for SCP-6622 transmission systems worldwide, preventing an estimated 450 megatons of CO2 emissions since implementation. Go Amelia! Afterward, upon entering the Site-43 main power station on either August 3rd or March 8th, 2021, Chief Torosian found on her workbench a pile of dried mud and twigs crudely molded into a heart. Torosian's request to keep the sculpture in her personal quarters was approved. Aww. SCP-6622-A-41 shortly after its scheduled feeding. It's a beeve! Look at the beeve! It's a good beeve! Sitting on its little tail. Its little flat tail like a chair. Okay, I love this one. I suppose I could have just picked a random SCP page right after. But first, I just want to take a quick look. Just to... Oh! I don't think that's quite what I wanted. Dum dum. Senior class, disruption class. Disruption class names are all based on degrees of light or illumination. The higher the disruption class, the farther the light spreads from the source. Okay, dark, chosen as an easily understood baseline in the same vein as safe, so then Vlam would be Euclid. Dutch for flame, generally a candle flame. Kennic would be Keter. Pacific Gulp Yupik for fire, generally a campfire, though it can be a bit larger. Okay. So if I had to guess, this means like an anomaly's capacity to be revealed to the world at large. You know, instead of just being kept secret from everyone. And yeah. Thank you, Stellar, for all the redeems. I will get you your stream, Frog. Right here. I'll put you on top of the statue. The statue of my sister, your wife. And then I will hydrate. I gotta move the phone because I was balancing it on my glass of water. Thank you, Jay, for Stream Frog. I will do that for you as well. Right on top, all snuggy cozy. Alright, and then posture check. And stretch. Good stuff. Okay. Alright. So, disruption class. Dark, the known or potential disruption is so low as to not be a concern. Vlam, the known or potential disruption would be localized to a small handful of people. Kennek, the known or potential disruption would be extended to a number of people roughly defined as a city. Could spread with fairly significant speed, fast enough as to cause concern. Eki is Basque for sun. The known disruption would extend to roughly the size of a large metropolitan area to an entire country. The potential disruption could extend to the entire known world. And then Amida. This disruption class should be reserved... Oh, has a plethora of meanings, but in this case is referring to the Buddha of eternal light. Should be reserved for special circumstances when the Foundation is essentially declaring war on an anomaly. When an anomaly poses such a dire threat to the status quo in the Foundation's veil that there is no other option than to use all possible options in order to neutralize it. Effects of Amida could extend to the entire known world and possibly the entire universe. So, big shine, big disruption. Okay, the risk class. Notice the anomalous effects of the object are nearly non-existent to mild. Within close proximity of the object would not feel anything, poses no danger to any individual. Caution. Anomalous effects are mild to moderate, poses mild danger to any individual nearby. Okay, so this is kind of what I thought, where the risk class is essentially what a lot of people mistake the object classes for. Like, or the containment classes. Yeah, because when people read object class and it says, oh, Keter, that means it must be extremely dangerous and deadly. When, no, Keter just means it's extremely difficult to contain. And then, like, yeah, there are Keter anomalies that are otherwise virtually harmless, and then there are safe objects that are, like, world-ending. So yeah, containment class is how difficult it is to contain, and then risk class is literally how dangerous it is. Okay. Back to the usual business. Oh, hey. If I remember correctly, my sister already read this one. Yeah, the Rainbow Serpent. Object class Uncontainable, or Tiamat. Yeah, let's try again. Here we go. Oh boy. SCP-69J. Object class Safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-69 is stored in its original packaging in a standard Safe Class Object Secure Locker at Site-19. Access to SCP-69 requires prior permission from at least 2 Level 3 personnel, and SCP-69 may only be used on a secure, isolated computer in the Anomalous Data Laboratory of Section 3. Use of SCP-69 on any terminal with a live network or internet connection will be cause for immediate revocation of access rights or termination. Personnel found using SCP-69 for excessive periods of time or in dereliction of duty will be terminated immediately. Description: SCP-69 was retrieved by SCP-507 during a displacement period lasting from blank blank 2000 blank. Oh, I think SCP-507 is the dimension hopping dude. Extra! RNG! Welcome, welcome! I'm reading SCPs! RNG doing the D&D gotta lurk. Okay, I gotcha. Wink, wink. Yes, I am Gwen. My sister is away, but in the meantime, for the sake of festivities, I found this really strange statue in her likeness. It appears related to SCP somehow. I don't know. Okay. Alright, retrieved by 507 during a displacement period lasting from blank blank 2000 blank to blank blank 2000 blank. Upon his return, SCP-69 was found in his possession and immediately taken into custody by the recovery team. SCP-69 appears to be a commercially produced software DVD and accompanying instruction manual in its original soft case. When placed into any PC with a supported Windows operating system, the disk appears to contain a Japanese-style dating sim visual novel program in English. The title of the software is The Sisters of Cheyenne Point by Superstar Catalyst Project. Oh my god. SCP-69 is reportedly very well written and decently drawn according to male test subjects who have been exposed to the software. Such subjects will often use SCP-69 for hours at a time, neglecting all other activity in an attempt to attain 100% completion. Female test subjects exhibited little to no interest in SCP-69. Possible memetic properties are under investigation, and all exposed test subjects have been quarantined under standard memetic agent screening protocols. Addendum 69-1. Research into SCP-69 has yielded no memetic properties. SCP-69 has been reclassified from Euclid to Safe. Addendum 69-2. Excerpts from SCP-69. Outer soft case. Ooh. Cute. Instruction manual, page 2. Welcome to Cheyenne Point Academy. Your name is Redacted. Even though you never had much luck with girls, your luck is about to change. You just moved to the beautiful city of Cheyenne Point, and with a new school comes new opportunities to find friends and love in the shadow of Data Expunged. Data Expunged. Page 5. Cast. TJ Blank. You are a new transfer student at the prestigious Cheyenne Point Academy and have moved to the city of Cheyenne Point after having a nervous breakdown at your old school. A caring person, you have nonetheless never seemed to have much luck with girls, but with a fresh start in a new environment, maybe that will change. Karen Blank, the leader of the Sisters Club. Karen is a strong and stubborn individual who despises bullies and never backs down from a fight. She was nicknamed Break, and by the other students for supposedly breaking the arm of an upperclassman, but under her tough exterior is a soft side that is rarely seen. She saves you from delinquents on your first day of class, and seems to have taken a keen interest in you. Beatrice Blank. Athletic and always energetic, Beatrice is a small but feisty competitor who loves to win at sports. She is playful and outgoing, but worries that others think she isn't mature or feminine enough because she's never had a boyfriend. Rachel Blank. The class representative of your homeroom and a top student at Cheyenne Point Academy. Rachel is a kind and caring figure who is always willing to help, but secretly isn't very confident about herself. She prefers to be called by her last name, and her favorite animal is the raven. Blank Kondraki. An upperclassman and captain of the fencing team, he is extremely arrogant and abrasive to those who he doesn't consider one of his henchmen. An infamous bully, you managed to accidentally get on the bad side of his cohorts on your first day at school. Page 6, cast continued. Dr. Gears, the principal of Cheyenne Point Academy. He doesn't talk a lot, is usually emotionless, and isn't seen around the school grounds very much either. Keeping to the administrative hall of the academy, a lot of students think that he might secretly be a robot with human skin. Dr. Bright, The vice principal of Cheyenne Point Academy, he is aloof, sarcastic, and feared for his strict punishments. However, he is also your redacted, and helped you get back onto your feet and into this school after your breakdown. So what could he be hiding under that harsh exterior? Mr. Strelnikov, a history teacher at Cheyenne Point Academy. He often teaches lessons that may not necessarily be historically accurate. He also yells a lot and scares the underclassmen who are unfortunate enough to be in his class. Dr. Clef, another teacher at Cheyenne Point Academy. Never seen in a classroom, no one is quite sure what he actually does at the academy. His creepy attitude, tendency to stalk people, and the fact that his face is almost always hidden behind a huge hat has a lot of the female students thinking that he's a pervert. Nurse Wrights. The school nurse, who seems to have an unhealthy obsession with giving students physical exams. She is more than willing to patch you up if you get any cuts and bruises on campus. Heart. Also, she will data expunged. Data expunged. Thank God. Addendum 63, or 69-3, additional research notes. For additional information regarding SCP-69's contents, see the research log for SCP-69. How big is it? Not too bad. This document contains additional information about the contents of SCP-69-J, as well as collected research notes for the purpose of more efficient experimentation. Content notes. Beginning with Chapter 1 and throughout the narrative, the protagonist repeatedly has difficulty remembering how to get to classroom 055 and is often forced to ask for directions. Referring to SCP-55, the anti-meme. During Chapter 2, the protagonist encounters a character named Kane, who is the student council president and a sympathetic figure who is loved by all and cares greatly for the student body of Cheyenne Point Academy. Additionally, he also appears to have a brother named Abel, a troublemaker and delinquent who is jealous of his brother's popularity. A pair of dysfunctional vending machines are interacted with during Chapter 2, and continue to be seen in the background when the protagonist travels through the student center. I imagine it's the interdimensional vending machine and then the coffee the coffee dispenser, whatever it's called, that can dispense any kind of liquid of almost any material. In Chapter 3, there is a short story arc involving a giant iguana that consistently escapes from the Academy's biology lab. When encountered, it is wearing a tag with the numbers 682 engraved onto it, and avoids capture until it encounters an unnamed female student who claims to be the only person that the iguana allows itself to be caught by. SCP-53, yeah. This student apologizes for the inconvenience and returns to the biology lab. These two characters are also seen again later in the narrative. Also in Chapter 3, Beatrice makes an offhand mention of a supposed cursed staircase. Oh god. Yeah, SCP-87, in the main building of the Academy. Students report feeling a sense of unease while using it, and there are rumors that several students in past years have fallen down the staircase, resulting in serious injuries. In an illustration in Chapter 4, an unnamed student appears to be reading a book titled Frederick Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. SCP-423. While paying a visit to the principal's office in Chapter 5, the walls of the office are seen with a decorative motif remarkably similar to sections of both SCP-914 and SCP-882. I know, 914 is the Clockworks. I don't remember what 882 is. In Chapter 6, the protagonist encounters a female student named Iris, who is the leader of the Academy's photography club. In Chapter 7, Rachel relates the story of a male classmate who consistently misses class due to issues outside of his control. Reasons for missing class have ranged from transportation breakdowns and sudden illness to an abduction by members of the local mafia. Yeah, that's 507. The protagonist, when seen in-game, appears to resemble known file photographs of SCP-590. I'm not sure what that is. The main atrium of the Academy appears to have a sculpture at its center that closely resembles SCP-173. Several students in the narrative express unease at its existence, and there are rumors that it sometimes moves when no one is looking. However, no evidence is ever given to substantiate these rumors. A closer examination of the suggested layout of Cheyenne Point Academy reveals a resemblance to the general layout of SCP-110. Again, I don't know which one that is. During some scenes in the city of Cheyenne Point, a small brick store can be seen in the background named MC&D Antiques and Curios. Yeah, Marshall Carter and Dark. Researcher notes, it appears that the act of teasing Karen instead of apologizing when the protagonist accidentally sees her underwear will automatically result in a bad end if a relationship with her is pursued, regardless of any other actions. Attempting to pursue a relationship with either Karen or Beatrice appears to cause a minor but noticeable increase in Mr. Strelnikov's aggression towards the protagonist, but for different reasons. Asking for help from any companion other than Rachel when the protagonist is struggling with a homework assignment involving categorizing documents will result in failing the assignment. It appears that Nurse Wrights is a secret romance option, however, any attempt to pursue this relationship results in a bad end. Thank God. If the protagonist accedes to any of Dr. Clef's invitations to assist him in his research project, an immediate bad end occurs. Yeah, so obviously this is like an SCP Foundation dating sim, which I believe is now a real thing. Except you date the actual SCPs. "69J. The J indicates that it's entirely a joke article. Ooh, we got another fancy formatter here. Okay. Rating of 95. SCP-6382. Notice from the Emergent Threat Tactical Response Authority. Material appended to this file describes an emergent situation related to the following database entries. SCP-5382, SCP-5054-EX, and SCP-1. Personnel are encouraged to familiarize themselves with any combination of said entries for background and context before proceeding. Dr. Daniel Blank, Director, ETTRA. We could take a little peek, I guess. Just real briefly. Dr. Bromide's Asclepian Alcohol? Containment Class Thaumiel? Disruption Class Flam? Risk Class Danger? Asclepian Alcohol. I've heard the term Asclepian before, but I don't totally remember what it means, or what it refers to. I mean, obviously it probably refers to like an old Greek thing, but 5054X EX. Fictional Canadian politician Joe Clark. Yeah, so containment class explained. So it's basically been revoked of its status as anomalous. That's all that means. Yeah, I just realized 5382, 6382, and then SCP-1, the Pikmin. Ooh! Warning, cognitocatalytic agents. This file contains active instances of SCP-1 and other memetic material in photographic form. Personnel must ensure that they have been recently inoculated with Anti-Meme-1 before proceeding. Hello, Swerve Star! Frogging! So we're partway through a workout. Hope you're having a happy Halloween. I am! I am having a very great oh happy ween. Asclepius was the god of healing. He healed everything very aggressively, including death. I see. So, Asclepian alcohol. Anyway, Pickman blank proposal. I.H. Pickman, Archivist Emeritus, H.R. blank, Archivist. Log access and proceed. SNC Plastics. Better plastic technology for a better tomorrow. Containment Class Aegis. Was that in the... Was that in the containment classes? Not in the main categories. Add-ons and extras. Cernunos, Chokma, Continua, Dracchiani, Embla, Eparch, Gavura, Declassified, Maxur, Necropsur, NA, Roll, and Yesod. Joseph Joestar's classes. These are just the icons. ACS alternatives and modifications. Antithesis, Amida, Caution. Yeah, nothing. Nothing for Aegis. I guess we'll never know. Sawyer's Cheesy Pretzels. Star City Poker. Lake Huron Supply Control and Purification. SCP-1 Selected Examples in situ. South Comalongma Portage. SCP-1 is a medic complex known internally as the frontispiece, residing in the human collective consciousness. Yeah, it's basically like various covers that the Foundation uses, and the one thing they all have in common is that they're all abbreviated to SCP. But apparently there's more to that one, it seems. But there's already so much. Administer Mimetic Discouragement Agent. Oh, no. We are not reading this one. Look at this scroll bar. Look at all this content. This is a whopper. No thanks. Ooh, this one is very recent. 7934. Okay, I think... Huh? Okay. Alright. Yeah, I can do this one. SCP-7934. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-7934 is to be kept in an artificial freshwater lake on grounds at Area 565 and fitted with a tracking tag to monitor its movements underwater. The location was established due to similar environmental conditions of SCP-7934's original habitat, Live eels, trout, and salmon have been introduced to the habitat to provide a steady diet for SCP-7934. If SCP-7934 approaches any personnel on the shoreline of the lake, or while they are in an observation boat, they are to remain calm so as not to cause it distress. If it vocalizes or rests its head on the boat, personnel are to gently stroke its head or neck until it is satisfied, taking the opportunity to check its physical health. If a surgeon event is observed, personnel are to begin an immediate misinformation campaign promoting the existence of SCP-7934 to the general public. Update. As of June 22, 2004, the preceding special containment procedures are outdated. Refer to revised containment procedures, which we'll get to down below. Description. SCP-7934 is currently a quadrupedal marine reptile bearing a close resemblance to a specimen of the genus Plesiosaurus, albeit larger in size than any fossil of the genus that has been discovered. Its body length is roughly 6.4 meters, with its neck comprising roughly 2.5 meters of that length, and its body mass has been approximated to be 970 kilograms. Despite its appearance, SCP-7934 displays behavior incongruent with current understandings of plesiosaurs. It has been observed raising its neck and bending its head at angles unsupported by current models of plesiosaurus biology. SCP-7934 also shows notable signs of intelligence, including self-recognition of its reflection and a tendency to develop attachments to specific research staff. SCP-7934's physiology has dramatically changed several times over the course of its time in Foundation captivity. These changes in physiology typically take a month to complete and are often visceral, with SCP-7934 invariably vocalizing in pain or distress as its body reshapes itself. With exceptions, see Incident, April 21st, 1934. Date of change. Dates given prior to the 1872 record-keeping standardization policy can only be narrowed down to the year. Okay, 1846, year of initial recovery. Resembled a large Irish wolfhound with what appeared to be peat moss growing from its fur. At 81 centimeters from foot to shoulder, weighing 62 kilograms. In 1857, it resembled a large reptile. Snout was elongated with nostrils located on the top of the nose. The eyes were enlarged and bulbous. The feet were noticeably crocodilian in form. Measuring 8 meters from snout to tail, at approximately 700 kilograms. August 1888, resembled a fire salamander, Salamandra, and was observed propelling itself across the surface of the water by running, similar to a basilisk lizard, Basilicus basilicus. Measuring 7 meters from snout to tail, approximately 550 kilograms. May 1933 to April 1934. Physiology became inconsistent and varied. At times, SCP-7934 was amphibious. At others, it was fully aquatic. Details including size, weight, type of feet, number of legs, length of snout. It's my sister's meds time. Is this the Loch Ness Monster? Almost. Seems there's more to it than just being Nessie. Okay. I did follow y'all's advice. I managed to figure out how to work a portal inside my stomach that is activated specifically around this time and for about 3 hours. 3 hours once the first alarm goes off. It leads directly to my sister so she can have her meds. Anyway, details including size, weight, type of feet, number of legs, length of snout, length of neck, and shape of head could alter, uniformly causing pain and distress to the organism. So its size and weight are both varied at the time. There you go. Okay. They've been promptly sent. And then lastly, April 21st, 1934, resembles an abnormally large plesiosaur. This is SCP-7934's current physiology. And then we already read the measurements. Incident, April 21st, 1934. In 1934, Dr. Ann Menzies, an assistant zoologist assigned to SCP-7934, made a series of notes in her personal journal detailing independent research into the organism's history and physiology. View contents. Oh my. February 28th. SCP-7934 is in a dire state at the moment. Its legs have gotten horribly swollen. The damn things look more like hippo feet than any reptile or amphibian I've seen before. What I can't for the life of me work out is how we don't yet know what's causing this. I asked Rupert about it today and he just shrugged a bit. Dr. Cantwell, then head researcher on SCP-7934, said something like he's been trying to answer that for 40 years, and that if I really wanted to, I could look through the log of changes, but that it wouldn't do much good. Patronizing fuck. I shouldn't be getting upset at him. He's probably kicking himself over the whole thing as much as I am. Maybe I'll take him up on that offer, though. March 4th. Rupert was right. This does feel like a waste of time. I can't find a trend at all. The gaps in time between all the changes are irregular, and we've never observed anything like the mutations going on at the moment. Why a dog? Every other time it's changed since we've had the creature, it's been a reptile or an amphibian, something with scales. But before then, a dog. I just can't work it out. SCP-7934 changed again incidentally. I watched as its neck grew longer and longer. The skin tore because it couldn't keep up with the growth. God, the noises it makes are too much sometimes. March 6th. I mentioned the questions I had about the dog to Rupert today, and he said something that stuck with me. He told me that a little before the Great War, he'd had a theory that SCP-7934 was originally some sort of kelpie, one of those so-called water horses, and that it somehow ended up morphing into a lizard. Apparently he gave up on it because he couldn't understand the reason behind the change. He told me not to worry about it, but it got me thinking. Kelpies are creatures of myth, are they not? Perhaps there's some sort of storytelling component to it. But what could have happened in 1857 to make the damn thing turn into a I just went and checked. The dinosaurs. The damn dinosaurs at Bromley. A series of sculptures by B.W. Hawkins depicting then accurate interpretations of prehistoric life at the Crystal Palace in London. First unveiled in 1854. Add in a few years for the image to spread. The sketch I've got from the 1857 changes has big bloody dinosaur feet like the iguanodon, and the same fish eyes as the ichthyosaurus. Could this be it? I have to consult with Rupert tomorrow. I'll bring in what I found. I told Rupert what I'd found, about the dinosaurs at Bromley, and how it relates to his old Kelpie idea, and he's already writing up a full letter to the director about it on my behalf. Said he couldn't be happier with the work I put in. On that note, I went away and found a few back issues of the Courier, and there's an article in here that I think supports my theory, referring to the Inverness Courier, a newspaper commonly circulated around SCP-7934's original habitat. Something about a businessman and his wife that saw what looked like a whale in the water back in May last year. Right around that time, SCP-7934 first gained cetacean features. I think we bloody well got it! Can't be too excited though, speaking about 7934. The poor thing's getting worse. I found it beached about 10 feet away from the shoreline today, with fins instead of feet, completely unable to get back into the water. Its breathing was terribly labored too, and it couldn't stop looking at me. Wouldn't stop. Rupert thinks that at some point overnight it had come onto dry land, and then another damn mutation had happened that left it helpless. It took 9 of us to get it back into the lake. Still, if this theory of mine is right, then there's a way to stabilize the changes so that this doesn't happen again. March 14th. The director came down to visit today. He wanted to see me in particular, commended me on my hard work, and congratulated me on coming up with a theory for the physiology changes. I must remember to thank Rupert. I think a lesser man might take credit for an idea like that himself, but he was sure to give me full recognition. I mentioned my idea for a way to stabilize 7934, and I'm not sure how to gauge his response. All he did was look out onto the water with a funny sort of look in his eye. Then he turned back to me and said, "Give it a formal write-up." Now, obviously, there's nothing directly forbidding or discouraging in what he said, but there's something about his tone there that made me uncertain. It felt like he was weighing up whether it'd be smarter to shoot me down now or later. I told Rupert about my unease once the director was gone, and he believes I'm just being a bit paranoid. I do hope that's the case. March 19th. Finally managed to finish off the proposal to stabilize 7934's form yesterday. If I'm correct and the changes are based on what people think it looks like, then it's just a matter of disseminating a few decently credible reports into the wild. I've even taken the liberty of including a few drafts to show the director that it won't be too difficult. I dropped it off at his office first thing in the morning. With any luck, I'll hear back from him soon. Hopefully it won't be too long. As I was observing 7934 today from the boat, it approached me with some difficulty. Its front left fin was split open into a claw. I could see bone in the gaps between its new fingers. March 28th. Still nothing. I'm beginning to get annoyed. How long could it possibly take to review a proposal? Rupert's seeing the director in a few days on other business, and he's kindly offered to make an inquiry for me. 7934's hind legs have warped together into a single flippered tail like a seal. The left leg hasn't fully shed the nails from when it was last quadrupedal, so it's been veering left as it propels itself through the water. It keeps looking at me as if it's begging for me to ease its pain. I don't know how long I can bear to wait for a response. April 2nd. According to Rupert's account, the director has in fact read our proposal. He certainly could have fooled me, given his complete silence on the matter. Apparently he's busy weighing up the pros and cons. What the hell does that mean, pros and cons? I fail to see a negative in this argument. Either we keep 7934 alive and healthy, or risk its death. What more is there to understand? Perhaps I'm just being emotional. The damn thing is calling out whenever it sees me now. It's wounding me to even think about it. April 17th. Fuck him, fuck him, fuck him! The director came to visit us today, asked how 7934 was doing, to which I answered something like, "It's suffering. If you consider implementing my proposal, we can alleviate that." Nothing confrontational, although I was a bit curt with him. Do you know what he did? He put his hand on my shoulder and pulled me aside as if I were some sort of naive ingenue who needed everything explained to her, and he said, "To be frank, Annie, what's important isn't whether or not it's in pain, it's whether or not it's alive." The absolute gall of him! I don't think I've ever been quite so angry in my life. I held my tongue and politely suggested the possibility of death resulting from the stress of the constant mutation 7934 is under, but he brushed me off. Said he'd read through my proposal, but considers the chances to be minimal since 7934 has always recovered in the past. Said he didn't think it was worth risking a potential information leak while we disseminated the false reports. and then he smiled at me and told me to keep up the good work before leaving. Rupert's tried to calm me, say that we can try again with a better write-up of the proposal, but I've seen it plain now. The director doesn't seem to care for 7934's quality of life, only the presence of it. Trying again would be like hurling myself at a brick wall, dusting myself down and charging right back at it. A complete exercise in futility. Besides which, as much as my focus is on the well-being of the creature, I can't ignore that I'm well and truly on the warpath now. All I've asked is the opportunity to keep this one-of-a-kind organism healthy, but I've been stonewalled time after time. To hell with it. I'll accept all the consequences of what I'm about to do, but I'll be damned if I don't take action now. Okay. On April 21st, 1934, a photograph purported to show SCP-7934 in its original habitat was published in a national newspaper. That same day, SCP-7934's physiology changed into its current form. After briefly stopping at... well, quickly. Dr. Menzies later suggested that the rapidity of change in popular image of SCP-7934 resulted in an accelerated rate of mutation. After briefly stopping at Area 565 to check SCP-7934's health, Dr. Menzies surrendered herself to Foundation staff with the original photographic plate, confessing to organizing the hoax in an attempt to ensure SCP-7934's survival. A search of her home found the above journal and several items used to create the photograph. These included fishing lines, several sinkers, a toy submarine, and a crudely sculpted head and neck of a plesiosaur made from putty. In light of SCP-7934's dramatically improved well-being, and a defense by its head researcher, Dr. Cantwell, Dr. Menzies was given the minimum penalty of a 2-year probationary period, during which she was not to work on SCP-7934. She returned to her position as assistant zoologist on SCP-7934 in 1938. Upon noticing her, SCP-7934 approached the observational boat and vocalized for 3 hours, pausing occasionally to rub its neck against the throat. Incident July 12, 1975. December 7th, 1975. On December 7th, 1975, the photograph taken by Dr. Menzies was exposed as a hoax in a national newspaper. For roughly 26 hours following the distribution of the story, SCP-7934 ceased to exist. Its tracking tag did not register any information, and it could not be located in its habitat. In response, Foundation agents launched a misinformation campaign, downplaying the exposure of the photograph and exaggerating the potential existence of SCP-7934 in its original habitat. This was successful in stabilizing SCP-7934's existence, and it maintained its physiology upon its return. However, over the next few weeks, researchers noted an apparent change in mood. SCP-7934 was observed to be more agitated than usual, being startled by loud noises. It also frequently approached researchers in the observation boat, resting its head on the gunwale and vocalizing until it received a gentle pat. Following incident December 7, 1975, SCP-7934 would cease to exist 4 more times, in 1987, 1999, 2001, and 2002. Such events were officially termed surgeon events. While Foundation efforts were able to suppress any information regarding SCP-7934's actual status, an apparent decrease in belief in its existence seems to have corresponded with the increase in surgeon events. On December 21, 2003, Dr. Ravi, the lead researcher on SCP-7934, made the following proposal to European Regional Overseer Llewellyn. Proposal for revision of containment procedures for SCP-7934. Please excuse the somewhat unusual nature of this request. I recognize that you are not normally involved in revisions and the like, but the proposal I'm making requires a much higher level of oversight than is typical, so I'm sending this straight to you. As I am sure you are well aware, SCP-7934 is destabilizing more frequently than it has in the past. I propose that our current strategy of hoaxing its existence is somewhat flawed. Yes, it worked for Dr. Menzies back in the 30s, but these are different times. Cameras are much more advanced and take higher quality images every year. Besides that, we're now seeing cell phones with cameras actually built into them. If that technology becomes more widespread, then the chances of us convincingly faking SCP-7934's existence every time we see a certain event will drop like a stone. Think about it. Thousands of people photographing the water with high-fidelity cameras every year? We'd stand no chance. For this reason, we must face the inevitable conclusion that in order to successfully maintain belief in SCP-7934, we are going to need to actually have something physical in its original habitat to be glimpsed from time to time. Bear in mind that I am by no means suggesting we openly confess to SCP-7934's existence. We are the Foundation after all, and containment is what we do. But if we allow the civilian population to occasionally catch sight of a strange ripple in the water, we can keep the rumor of its existence alive enough to sustain it. When initially drafting this proposal, I had planned to recommend the use of an artificial SCP-7934 that we could employ from time to time. The more I thought about it, however, the more I found myself questioning the viability of such a scheme. If the construct were exposed as a hoax, while we could easily brush it aside with the use of amnestics, I fear what the discovery of such a large-scale fraud would do for SCP-7934. Even with a cover-up, the potential certain event could be permanently damaging to its health. As such, I would like to state the simple solution. Why don't we just let it go home? Revised containment procedures. SCP-7934 is to be kept in its original habitat at Loch Ness in Scotland and fitted with a tracking tag to monitor its movements underwater. Foundation personnel are to ensure that no civilian vessel is allowed to move within 1 kilometer squared of SCP-7934's location. If SCP-7934 approaches any personnel while they are in an observation boat, they are to remain calm so as not to cause it distress. If it vocalizes or rests its head on the boat, personnel are to gently stroke its head or neck until it is satisfied, taking the opportunity to check its physical health. If SCP-7934 approaches the shoreline, any civilians present are to be detained and administered Class A amnestics, rendering specific details of the encounter impossible to recall. If the number of civilian observers is particularly low, and they have no evidence of SCP-7934's existence, they may be permitted to spread stories of the encounter so as to maintain its general health. In the event that a civilian posts photographic or videographic evidence of SCP-7934 online, the content is to be assessed for its believability. If the content is deemed to be too concrete proof of SCP-7934's existence, it is to be immediately scrubbed from the internet, and Class A amnestics are to be distributed among the general population to remove the image from memory. Otherwise, the content may be left online so as to maintain SCP-7934's well-being. So it was Nessie, in the end. Ingenuous, like a naive person. Yeah, I'm just not sure how you pronounce it. Gonna head to shower. Have a good night, everyone. Good night, Swerve Star. You're probably already gone, but I appreciate you coming by. So it was Nessie the entire time. It's just, there's more to the story. Oh, wait. No, I had to click random SCP. Somehow this looks familiar. Oh well, SCP-3320, a rating of 94. Object Class Cater. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-3320 is contained within Zone 3320 in the Southern Atlantic Ocean. Zone 3320 consists of Site 3320 on Bouvet Island, leased to the Foundation in perpetuity by the Norwegian government, and a 50-kilometer exclusion zone in the surrounding ocean. SCP-3320 should be positioned at a point between 15 and 30 kilometers from Site 3320, with no vessels or aircraft to come within 2, 5, 10 kilometers of SCP-3320 except when required to implement containment procedures. Site-3320 serves as a base for an MIM-104D Patriot surface-to-air missile battery consisting of 4 launchers, the Type 45 anti-aircraft destroyer SCPS Ancile, and associated logistical vessels. When SCP-3320 enters an active phase, all available weapons are to fire upon it until it is disabled. SCP-3320 is then to be returned from its landing position under tow to Zone 3320. Given the amount of energy released by SCP-3320 activations, a disinformation program is in constant operation to conceal them under the guise of volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, or military exercises. As of September 27, 2017, directional radio jamming equipment has been installed at Site-3320, and all transmissions emanating from SCP-3320 should be blocked. And in the picture, a missile firing on SCP-3320 in active phase. It's kind of a shame that you can't click on the image to get a bigger resolution viewing. You can zoom in. That might partly be the point, though. Description. SCP-3320 is a cylindrical construct of extraterrestrial origin, 155 meters in length and 30 meters in diameter. It is composed of an unknown gray metallic substance surrounded by a transparent outer shell of a material resembling layered carbon nanotubes when under microscopic examination. This shell has a semi-fluid composition and possesses an internal self-repair mechanism between the layers, conferring SCP-3320 with significant resistance to damage and hindering detailed investigation of its internal structure. This mechanism is also able to rearrange the structure of the outer shell such that SCP-3320 maintains buoyancy in water. A 2-part propulsion mechanism is located at the rear end of SCP-3320. The visible section is a fusion rocket system fueled by seawater-derived hydrogen, which allows SCP-3320 to escape the atmosphere. The second part of the mechanism has not been viewed directly, but imaging techniques suggest it relies on the production and energy release of exotic matter beyond currently available technology. Based on comparison of this mechanism to available Project Heimdall data, this would allow SCP-3320 to theoretically reach speeds of 0.95 c in interstellar travel. A collision with SCP-3320 at this speed would result in a release of over 1 Yoda joule of energy. Holy shit. Approximately 500,000 times the total energy released in historical nuclear testing. The forward surface of SCP-3320 bears a number of engravings. One central engraving is uniform and regular, and has been identified as a pictorial representation of the star Kepler-174 in the Lyra system, with the exoplanet Kepler-174d, SCP-3320-1, its focus. Multiple engravings of crude qualities surround this image, including other solar systems. 13 unique systems have been confirmed at this time, accompanied by depictions of an octopodal organism with a cylindrical body and a variable number of other appendages. These depictions are accompanied by an unknown pictographic language. Portions deciphered by Foundation linguists are believed to represent feelings of disgust and hostility. At intervals of between 1 week and 2 months, SCP-3320 enters an active phase where it will angle itself to an elevated position and initiate a launching sequence. The release of energy in this process has increased over time from 0.2 kT to 0.8 kT. Kilotons, with blast effects extending up to 9 kilometers. While the outer structure of SCP-3320 has proven resistant to damage from conventional weaponry, forces applied from explosive detonations are able to divert SCP-3320 from its trajectory, which results in its deactivation and fall to sea level. It is likely the increasing power involved in launching sequences is a response to these procedures, which poses difficulties for long-term containment. Analysis of SCP-3320's trajectory when active has confirmed SCP-3320-1 is its ultimate destination, barring unforeseen deviations. The purpose of SCP-3320 cannot be conclusively determined, but given its absence of transportation or scientific functionality, it is almost certainly intended to be data expunged. Document 3320-1, Project Drake. Background. Project Drake, running from 2014 to 2017, was an interdepartmental effort for astronomical investigation of the Lyra system, with a focus on Kepler-174 and Kepler-174d, SCP-3320-1. Secondary aspects of the project encompassed investigation of other astronomical bodies potentially related to SCP-3320. Results. SCP-3320-1 is a terrestrial planet of 0.0172 solar mass, approximately 5.45 times the mass of Earth, orbiting the K-class star Kepler-174, 1175 light-years from Earth, at a distance of 0.677 AU. Like astronomical units? Approximately 80% of its surface is covered by liquid water. Observation of land masses noted, data expunged. There was no evidence of permanent habitation in these areas. In multiple locations across the oceans of SCP-3320-1, features consistent with data expunged. Data expunged. There is no evidence of capacity for interstellar travel, and it is unlikely that SCP-3320 had any prior connection with this location beyond the markings present on its surface. Investigation of 11 solar systems and 17 extrasolar planets based on markings found on SCP-3320 was also carried out. These planets shared the characteristics of being terrestrial and in theoretical habitable zones of their respective stars. No evidence of any life, intelligent or otherwise, was found. All planets had experienced a catastrophic impact event consistent with data expunged, a large number of asteroids. Discussion. Data expunged. No significant negative consequences for the Foundation, the Earth, or human civilization would be anticipated from allowing SCP-3320 to reach SCP-3320-1. However, data expunged. Dr. M. Major, Project Lead. Addendum 3320-1, Neutralization Proposal. Summary. Based on evidence gathered regarding SCP-3320's destination and purpose, it is likely that allowing SCP-3320 to complete a launch sequence would remove it from any meaningful association with the Earth and result in its effective neutralization. Given the significant expenditure of resources required in the containment of SCP-3320, its threat to normalcy, and hazardous nature to personnel involved, SCP-3320 is a suitable neutralization candidate, and I advise that current containment procedures be ceased forthwith to this effect. Senior Researcher Dr. R.J. Videla. May 1st, 2016. Ethics Committee Decision 3320.1. Proposal declined. 0 in favor, 4 against, 1 abstaining. The committee considers this proposal to be inconsistent with the Foundation's mission of ensuring stable containment of anomalous objects. Containment procedures of SCP-3320 have been satisfactory until this time, and the hazards posed by SCP-3320 are judged by this committee to not reach the threshold for neutralization. Additionally, it was also considered by the committee that allowing SCP-3320 to breach containment, travel through the atmosphere, and enter local space would result in significant risk to secrecy at each stage of this process. For the full text of this decision, please submit an application in writing to the committee office. Committee Chair Dr. D.A. Singer. Oh, maybe it's... Maybe it is month, day, year. Well, it was... No, it was day, month, year before. I'm gonna go with that. 95% the speed of light? Wowzers! Okay, so that was on June 1st, 2016. Neutralization Proposal 3320-2, Summary. We believe it is time to reconsider neutralizing this object. In addition to the continued relevance of the reasons outlined in Proposal 3320-1, the importance of this path has become apparent given the ongoing escalation in the severity of SCP-3320 launch events, which have resulted in 11 personnel casualties in 2017 so far. As the previous committee decision cited secrecy concerns as a factor in the decline of the proposal, we have also been able to secure funding and support from the Department of External Affairs, with a suitable cover for the launch of SCP-3320 as a private space venture, which should be sufficient to ameliorate these concerns. Site Director Q.L. Zhang. February 6, 2017. Ethics Committee Decision. Proposal declined. 1 in favor, 3 against, 1 abstaining. Although the ongoing escalation in SCP-3320 launch events is a point of concern, the committee considers this a matter to be resolved by an assigned research staff and of limited relevance to ethical decision-making. The opinion of Decision 3320.1 is still broadly applicable in this situation, and sufficient grounds for neutralization justifying the subversion of core Foundation mission principles has not yet been demonstrated. For the full text, please submit an app. Dr. D.A. Singer, March 1st. Immediate Directive, Addendum 3320-3, 3320.001, Level 5 Clearance. This directive has been issued granting authority to Site Director Zhang and all relevant subordinates to proceed with previous proposals for the neutralization of SCP-3320. Notwithstanding the opinions of the Ethics Committee, this office considers the case for its neutralization as outlined in these proposals to be strong. However, the need for urgent action in this regard has become apparent with newly available data on radio transmissions emanating from SCP-3320. Given the likely function of SCP-3320 and intentions and capabilities of its creators, any communication from SCP-3320 would pose a severe risk to the security of the human race. Procedures put in place to mitigate this situation will only serve as a stopgap measure, given the potential broadcasting power available to SCP-3320. In addition, the Department of External Affairs has issued a briefing in support of SCP-3320's neutralization in the interest of maintaining stable relations with the Global Occult Coalition. Concealment of SCP-3320 from the GOC has been unsuccessful, and the Undersecretary General has expressed serious concerns about our management of SCP-3320. The GOC has indicated a willingness to assist with our own resources, terrestrial and extraterrestrial, in the neutralization process if necessary. Allowing the launch of SCP-3320 and its egress from our solar system will serve as an immediate, effective, and minimal risk method of resolving these problems permanently. 05-4. Yeah, I was right. September 29th, 2017. Ethics Committee Decision. Emergency veto of directive. Jesus. 2 in favor, 2 against, 1 abstaining. Veto issued by Committee Chair Authority. The committee is issuing an immediate veto of Directive 3320.001 under the authority granted to the committee by Article 3 of the Charter on Council and Ethics Committee Powers 2009. The Foundation's mission is to secure, contain, and protect, with destroy being antithetical to these principles. No convincing evidence that SCP-3320 is uncontainable to such a degree that neutralization is required has yet been presented at any level. At a minimum, full analysis of the predicted future efficacy of radio transmission jamming should be carried out prior to making an unfounded claim that this would only be a stopgap. The position of the Global Occult Coalition is of no relevance to the Foundation's ethical operation, and to use maintaining relations with the GOC or any other external organization as evidence for containment decision-making sets a dangerous precedent. It has also recently come to the attention of the Committee that a significant amount of information in the SCP-3320 file has been expunged, ostensibly for security reasons. Whilst we have reservations about this removal, of greater concern is the fact that the data is not only missing, but has been selectively deleted in such a way as to give a misleading impression to the viewer. In context of the repeated requests for neutralization of 3320 contrary to the advice of the Committee, advice, we must condemn this decision in the strongest terms. In order to facilitate informed and ethical future management of SCP-3320, the Committee makes the following recommendations. Restoration of expunged data in the SCP-3320 file, consideration of SCP-3320-1 for a standalone SCP object designation, resumption of funding to Project Drake, and reallocation of resources from SCP-3320 neutralization attempts to ensuring long-term, stable terrestrial containment. Committee Chair, Dr. D.A. Singer. Council Statement. The Council expresses its disappointment with the position taken by the Ethics Committee in Decision 3320-3. The Committee has overstepped its bounds relating to SCP-3320 on a number of occasions, with the most recent decision being the most egregious example. The Committee is primarily called upon to evaluate decisions proposed or carried out by research staff, and the issue of unsolicited recommendations for containment procedures is not within its mission parameters. The question of relations with the Global Occult Coalition or any other external group is also an overreach of the responsibilities of the Committee, as are demands to alter information security procedures, which remain a RISA matter. The request for the reclassification of SCP-3320-1 is denied, as is a request to restore expunged data. Given the questions this raises about the soundness of the current composition of the Committee and its leadership by Dr. Singer, the Council is currently deciding on an appropriate response. 05-2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12. October 6th, 2017, and then the previous was the 1st of October. Document locked by user DAZ02, enter access code. Welcome, Dr. Singer. Yeah, from numbers@gmail.com to dsinger@ethcom.scp.org. Subject 3320, sent on October 8th, 2017 at 1:30 a.m. Obviously, I shouldn't be sending you this. It would be grounds for removal from the Council, and possibly worse. I don't think that would happen, though. The others know that it's best to resolve this quietly before things get uglier. You know that this principled stand is pointless. The Council's patience with SCP-3320 has long since run out, and they're going to move against you. I'm sure you would relish the chance to be fired in a blaze of glory, but I doubt you bargained on the firing squad being a literal one. Some of the others say this goes beyond a difference of principles and into the realm of treason, and frankly, I can see where they're coming from. We all swore the same oath to protect the world. Which world was implied? Nobody expected it needed to be spelled out to you. I understand that you grew fond of 163 in your previous position, but remember what you are and where you came from. SCP-163. The situation is bad for the Council, bad for the Foundation, bad for you, and bad for your family. You're not serving the greater good of anyone by dying on this hill. We didn't create this thing, we didn't launch it, and we aren't responsible for where it ends up. I can guarantee that if you issue a retraction, the whole business will be forgotten. We'll make sure billions of people can sleep easy without having this hanging over their heads, give the Foundation a lot of extra resources to dedicate to good causes, and you can even keep your job. If you won't listen to me as an overseer, please listen to me as an old friend. You need to let this go, David. Ethics Committee Decision 3320.4, pending. Damn! We got an alien spacecraft, and it landed in, interdepartmental drama. Dextra requests a red froge. I can provide. Right there. You can be held in the statue's hands. Oh, hi, Siravanur! Sorry, I was super caught up in the reading. I tend to do that a lot. I tend to lose track of chat whenever I'm reading something out. Primarily because, you know, this is the content for the night. Project Heimdall. I want to quickly peek into that. We're not gonna read everything. I just kind of want to skim. Disciplinary, high-impact, low-probability contingency analysis with 3 primary objectives. Okay, so basically it's like an alien task force project. Okay, this might be the last one because my little froggy throat and mouth are starting to ache. SCP-3592, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. The location's importance to national transport infrastructure makes permanent containment unfeasible. Long-term efforts focus on 1. Information gathering and covert surveillance by MTF Theta-17, Sick Boys, and 2. Influencing mundane infrastructural decision-making so as to maintain the site's viability. During and after an SCP-3592 event, all forms of non-MTF communications to and from Liverpool Street Station should be blocked. This should continue until localized airborne scenario-specific amnestics have been successfully deployed. Description: SCP-3592 is an anomalous event that has affected Liverpool Street Station's Platform 10 once every 3 years since 1947. Stage 1, average duration of 10 minutes. Notes: mundane platform activity decreases to 0. This does not appear to hinder or alter passengers' travel. Monitoring suggests that all mundane travelers arrive at their intended destinations at the intended times via the intended trains, but have no recollection of boarding or leaving at Liverpool Street Station. From this point on, agents are unable to gain access to or remain on Platform 10, citing confusion, disorientation, and memory loss. Stage 2, 5 minutes. Steam from an unknown anomalous source progressively reduces visibility to 0 and disrupts manual and electronic surveillance. Stage 3, 20 minutes. Steam completely obscures Platform 10. Passengers and staff at adjacent platforms typically report hearing shouts, weeping, and other vocalizations of distress throughout this stage. Individuals also report feelings of extreme dread and anxiety, even if they do not hear the vocalizations, especially those between 3 to 15 years of age. Stage 4, 17 minutes. The steam clears and mundane activity resumes. There is no evidence of any anomalous activity having taken place. This marks the end of an SCP-3592 event. And then, okay, just double checking. Agent Anna Hlavinka and Nicholas Jones are posing as civilians on Platform 10 when the 10th SCP-3592 event takes place. This is the only occasion where Foundation resources are able to remain at the scene or record unfolding events from within. It is unknown whether these events are indicative of SCP-3592 as a whole. Date, I think it's October 7th, 1977. It's year, month, day. Note, all times are in the format hour, minute, minute. Okay. 10:14. Civilians awaiting the arrival of the 10:15 from Harwich begin to leave the platform. Within 5 minutes, numbers have dwindled from approximately 100 to 0. Agent Hlavinka commences video recording via a camera and microphone concealed in her bag. As she does so, Agent Jones walks towards the exit. Hlavinka orders him to return, but Jones ignores the command and exits the platform without comment. 10:21. Platform 10 is empty with the exception of Agent Hlavinka. As she films the scene, the quality of the recording is noticeably worsened by increasing amounts of steam. 10:26. Visibility is now reduced to 0, although audio continues clearly. There are at first several and then many cries and vocalizations of distress from all sides. There are several audible expressions of fear from Hlavinka, but the sources of the vocalizations remain hidden in the steam and make no attempt to interact. 10:31. The steam clears enough to allow visual recording. Visibility is now approximately 8 meters. Immediately behind Agent Hlavinka is a steam train, model unknown. Manifesting at or near the platform's edge are at least 100 apparent human adults, both male and female, designated SCP-3592-A. Their apparel is congruous with that of 1930s to 1940s continental Europe. They appear unaware of Agent Hlavinka. 10:33. A whistle blows and the carriage doors are opened from within. The A instances surge forward and the intensity and volume of vocalizations increase substantially. For the next 13 minutes, approximately 200 unaccompanied minors, ranging from 2 to 15 years, designated SCP-3592-M, disembark from the train. Most are in a state of distress and evidence fear and confusion. Evident? Their dress is congruent to that of the A instances. The A instances appear to search for specific M instances within the group. Upon success, they lead them away from the platform. Footage is unclear, but all such instances exhibit extreme emotions. Agent Hlavinka attempts to communicate, but the instances are unresponsive. 10:46. An M instance clutching a small brown suitcase and a crude doll disembarks and approaches the agent. Hlavinka initially ignores her, then realizes that the other can see her and offers her chocolate. Here. It's good. What's your name? Radomila. Tell me, Radomila, where are you from? Prague, Czechoslovakia. Really? My grandparents are too. Mluvite česky? The rest of the dialogue is conducted in Czech. Are you traveling alone? Where are your parents? They're still in Czechoslovakia. They're not allowed to leave. Here, more chocolate. How old are you, little princess? 9. It was my birthday last Sunday. Your doll, was that a present? She's very beautiful. Does she have a name? Clara. Clara. That's a very pretty name. Do you think Clara would like some chocolate? She's asleep. Maybe if you give it to me and I'll give it to her later. Oh, you'll look after it? Okay. You'd better take some more then. Inaudible dialogue. So, why were you on the train? At this point, SCP-3592-M1 is scared by screams and sobs further along the platform and cowers against the carriage. Stay close to me. No! Don't let them hurt me! Don't let them hurt me! It's okay, I won't let anyone... Wait! Look! Look! They're here! They're here! It's them! SCP-3592-M1 breaks away and runs towards 2 A instances, a male and female of indeterminate age, who see her and likewise start to run. The adult female instance's legs buckle, but she is supported by other instances. SCP-3592-M1 is picked up by the adult male who begins to weep. The A instance presents SCP-3592-M1 to the female instance. They are lost in the steam. Agent Levinka... I should drink? Thank you, Sarah Benur. I will. Okay. They are lost in the steam. Agent Levinka looks down and sees that SCP-3592-M1 has left her suitcase, but makes no attempt to follow them. The greater crowd dissipates slowly, each SCP-3598-A instance pairing off with one or more SCP-3592-M instances. None are hostile to the agent. Agent Levinka picks up SCP-3592-M1's suitcase and studies the exterior before undoing the string that holds it closed. She puts the bag, including the camera and microphone, onto the platform. The camera continues to record the SCP-3592 event in its entirety, although Agent Levinka is out of shot. 11:02. Stage 3 commences. Steam begins to obstruct visual recording, and soon visibility is reduced to 0 again. The cries and vocalizations of the A and M instances fade to inaudible levels. Another whistle blows, and sounds analogous to a steam train pulling away from the station can be heard, but these too fade. 11:16. Steam clears completely. The platform appears to be empty. 11:21. Agent Jones can be heard calling out for Agent Levinka. Agent Levinka remains missing, presumed lost in action. The suitcase is moved out of shot, and then the camera's point of view changes as Jones picks it up. Jones pans around the platform to confirm that it is empty. As he does so, the 11:15 train from Cambridge arrives and mundane traffic commences as normal. This marks the cessation of the SCP-3592 event. The suitcase is later transferred to the Site-31, where the contents are cataloged and found to be mundane. The suitcase was found to contain the following items. All are congruous with the mid to late 1930s. 8 woolen pairs of socks, gray, 5 pairs of underwear, assorted, 3 cotton vests, gray, 2 summer dresses, pink and purple, assorted toiletries, 1 toy doll, manufacturer unknown, 1 purse containing 1 monochrome photograph of 2 adults, 2 coloring books, 1 pack of seasickness tablets, 3 used, a Czech English phrase book, identification and travel papers, see document SCP-3592-D001, which is this. I can kind of read some of this. This document of identity is issued with the approval of His Majesty's government in the United Kingdom to young persons to be admitted to the United Kingdom for educational purposes under the care of the Inter-Aid Committee for Children. This document requires no visa. Personal particulars, name, Slavinka Radomila Sophie Elena. Sex female, date of birth August 2nd, 1930, place of birth Czechoslovakia. And then it lists her father named David, her mom named Anna, IRF pasta it was that one place in Prague. Oh, she didn't say. But yeah, it's Prague. Yeah, so Radomila Sofia Elena Hlavinka was a passenger on the last Kinder transport train bound from Prague for England, which was turned back on September 3rd, 1939, due to the outbreak of the Second World War. Historical evidence shows that most of the 250 children on board died under Nazi occupation. That's spooky. For real, like, the anomalous event, like, by itself is actually pretty creepy. And what a perfect little end cap for stream. Ah, my little froggy throat is exhausted. You can tell I'm not used to this. Okay, I think moving back to main screen. I know for a Halloween stream it was pretty low-key. That was kind of the intent. But, you know, maybe in the near future, I might decide to do something properly spooky. I know it's definitely been in the back of my mind since earlier today. But, you know, there's only so much time you can prepare. And so, yeah, it was something somewhat last minute, but also kind of simple. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying to talk with an achy throat. Words are tough sometimes. Ah! God, I gotta learn to better control the scenes. I need practice. More practice. This is only my my second stream taking over for my sister, so there's bound to be a few slip-ups. Have patience with me, please. Okay. Thank you, Jay, for the hydrate. And I will do the check of posture. Okay. So, I had an idea. Doing great, you got this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyway, I had an idea. So normally, my sister usually prefers to stream on Mondays and Fridays. But in the past, she's been able to stream on Mondays and Thursdays. Well, it turns out I got a little peeky at my schedule this week. And normally the Thursdays are bad, but this Thursday is open, as is Friday. So how about I do 2 more streams this week? One Thursday and then another one right the day after. How about that? I'll be sure to try and think of something proper to do. Hi! Okay. Yeah, I'll think of something to do. Absolutely. I know, I've been kind of tempted, honestly, to I've been tempted to try out some of my sister's games, primarily one of the Toho games. I haven't had a chance to play them before. I'm almost wondering if like the magic memory transfer might have transferred some muscle memory too. We can put that to the test. Anyway, as for what I do, for Thursday and Friday, I might say I might do like one on one day and then the other on the other day, but it's open to switching. Maybe? Do it? I will do it. I will, I must. I feel the compulsion. I feel the vibes beckoning me. Or maybe it's just ghosts. Yeah, anyhow, I think it would be pretty cool to do 2 more streams this week, instead of the usual just twice a week, on opposite ends of the week. Week. Alright, I will brainstorm for then, but let's focus on the present. Right now. And right now, we gotta find someone properly spooky to raid. How about it? Let's see, the raid commands are da-da and da-da for subs and not. For the subs and the sub-nots. Who is live right now? Let's see. But also, real quick, thank you all for coming and celebrating Halloween with me. I hope you all have a great, delicious, spooky Halloween. I know I'm super game for just cozying up and watching a spooky movie or two. This person seems interesting. Properly kind of spooky-ish. How about... Oh, they even call themselves a horror VTuber. That's perfect. The Subnauticas? No, I don't have that game. Actually, I might not have it on PC, but I think I remember I might have gotten it for the PS4. Oh man, I wonder if Issy would be really proud of me if I managed to set up all the capture card stuff. You think so? You think she'd be proud of me? I'd have to look into that. But for the meantime, raid. Yeah, how about we raid the Cryptid Coven? I gotta just set a few things up real quick. Alright. The Cryptid Coven. They're doing a just chatting themselves. It looks like they're just kind of checking out Halloween stuff. And they look properly spooky. Cryptid Coven, spooky name, yeah! Okay, the Cryptid Coven, let's go! I think for the occasion of Halloween, I think I might keep this paint up a little while longer if I decide to do something spooky for one of the other streams later this week. We'll see. Oh, wait. Are they watching Ernest Scared Stupid? Oh, that's incredible. You're gonna watch a movie. Alright. Thank you all, Lily Pals, once again for hanging out. I hope you all have a fantastic Happy Ween. And so until Thursday, all my little Lily Pal friends, oh yeah, spooky!